We begin this week's action reel with the NBA's hottest team, the Orlando Magic. In a battle between two of the league's elite centers, Shaquille O'Neal got the upper hand on Hakeem Olajuwon as the Magic rolled to a 23-point win.
Kept the pivot foot. Oh, what a move.
When Shaq got into foul trouble, the Magic stepped up their defense, forcing 21 turnovers. Nick Anderson had 4 steals to go with his 25 points, and Penny Hardaway had 29 points, 7 steals, and 6 assists.
Boy, this is the sign of a team getting better and better, Chip.
Orlando's bid for 6 straight wins came at Boston Garden, where the Celtics looked to gain on the division-leading Magic. But Shaq had other plans, like rocking the Celtics for 36 points.
Whoa.
With Shaq on the bench for most of the third quarter, the Magic exploded for 42 points behind Nick Anderson and NBA Player of the Week, Penny Hardaway. Once again proving their value as scorers when Shaq is out of the action. Anderson netted 21, and Hardaway hit for a season-high 35 points as the Magic narrowly escaped Boston with a 6-point win. On to Milwaukee, where Penny was feeling it as he lit up the Bucks with a triple-double, 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists.
Penny saying, go on and leave me. I'll take this all night. Wow.
The Orlando Magic have moved to 9-2 atop the Eastern Conference, and they're off to the best start in franchise history. They tied a club record with 7 straight wins and are proud owners of the NBA's best record. Despite a disappointing 4-5 start, the Utah Jazz are now making beautiful music together. John Stockton's league-leading assist total and Karl Malone's scoring have led the way.
Shot clock for Johnny. Fires a 3. Got it. Oh, that's John Stockton. What a rascal.
2 nights later, the Chicago Bulls came to town, and once again, Utah's devastating duo was outstanding. Balanced scoring was the key, as 6 Jazz players scored in double figures.
I've never been a part of a team with this much talent on it, top to bottom. Every guy here can contribute, and hopefully in the end it'll pay off.
Utah then took their show to Sacramento, where Karl Malone and Jeff Hornacek helped crown the Kings as they keyed a fourth-quarter rally and extended the Jazz winning streak to 4 games.
Jazz win it, and their first road win of the year, and they go to 8-5 on the year.
This team is very talented. It keeps the other guy that's out there on the floor alert that, if you don't do your job, it's somebody sitting down there waiting on it.
The Lakers are on a streak of their own with the help of some strong play at center by Vlade Divac. Divac led the Lakers with 27 points in their 12-point win over Dallas, and he made it look easy. Cedric Ceballos chipped in 24 with his quickness and agility around the hoop.
And he throws it in on a bank shot.
Antonio Harvey made the most of his first start as a Laker by tallying 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Lenny Wilkins and the Atlanta Hawks tried to prevent a repeat performance, but the second-year forward impressed again with 13 points. Vlade Divac led L.A. with 15 points and 16 rebounds as the Lakers edged the Hawks.
Trying to retain a lead. That has been the problem for Atlanta.
In Washington, it was Nick Van Exel's turn to shine as he burned the Bullets for 22 points.
Oh, look at the quickness and change of direction by Van Exel to score.
Van Exel hit 4 of 9 3-pointers and had 13 assists as the Lakers extended their winning streak to 4 in a row and improved to 7-5 on the season.
We got some excitement.
There's plenty of excitement around the league, as we'll see in this week's news, notes, and quotes. While the Phoenix Suns have been playing without Charles Barkley, they've relied on a balanced offensive attack. That was never more evident than against the Clippers, where an NBA record 10 players scored in double figures.
What a beautiful pass from Danny Manning. Length of the floor. All Suns now are in double figures. Now that is an amazing stat. How many games can you remember where your entire team, 10 of them, were in double figures? That's hard to believe.
Jimmy Jackson was also hard to believe this week. The Mavs guard scored 50 points in an overtime win at Denver, tying teammate Jamal Mashburn's 2-week-old team scoring record.
Well, that's my backcourt mate right there. And like I said, I feed off of Jamal. Tonight was my night. Only thing I was concentrating on was trying to get in the basket, make my free throws, and get out of here with a W.
What a game for Jackson.
To tie Mashburn's record, Jackson had to hit a game-winning free throw.
Mavericks by 1. Jackson's got 50. Holy mackerel.
Finally, the Hornets' Robert Parrish made his first return to Boston Garden. Charlotte signed the 19-year veteran as a free agent from the Celtics, where he'd won 3 NBA titles, and the Hornets hope Parrish can help them win their first.
There's nothing like an experienced center.
Now, the floor general of the Washington Bullets, point guard Scott Skiles, is holding court.
Oh, I'm just very hard-nosed and I'm stubborn. I like things to go my way, and I try to make them go my way. I don't know where I get the intensity from.
but I've just always had it, and I play the same way every time I play.
Though standing only 6'1", it was clear from the beginning that there was going to be something special about Scott Skiles.
Looking for a second state championship. They got it to Skiles. 20-footer. It's good! Can you believe it?
Skiles' Indiana high school success would continue at Michigan State.
Well, this is Scott Skiles that we've seen this year. Behind the back, a wraparound pass. And Scott Skiles is cheerleading at the other end, jumping up and down. Look at him. And
Unfortunately, the transition to the NBA would not be an easy one. The beginning of Skiles' pro career was marked by unfulfilled promise and frustration.
Rebound Williams. Skiles couldn't handle the pass.
nothing is easy.
Being picked by the Orlando Magic in the expansion draft would help turn things around for Scott Skiles. And one game would signify his reversal of fortune.
Skiles front court. Skiles to Reynolds. Jump shot is up. It is good! Scott Skiles with his 30th assist for the night. And that's the new NBA record.
Skiles would go on to establish himself as one of the league's top point guards. However, last season, the Magic looked to the future in turning the team over to Anthony Hardaway. Skiles was traded to the Washington Bullets, where his arrival was eagerly accepted.
Skiles brings, not only is he a good player, he brings an attitude. He brings cockiness, assuredness in himself. He's willing to put himself on the line.
Skiles dives for it, comes up with it.
But he's also willing to demand that his teammates put themselves on the line, and he's not above being critical of his teammates if they make a mental error. I've always pretty much been the leader on every team I've been on. My role is just to keep the guys organized, sort of be an extension of Jimmy out there and get across to the guys what he wants done, and I feel comfortable doing that.
My point is, the ball backwards, the left center of the court. Give him a walk. This way and a walk. He's a very competitive guy. He's an extremely bright guy, and it may be as important as anything else. These players respect Skiles. They have a confidence in him.
He's been in the league a long time and knows what it takes to win. He's been on some good teams. You know, it's something that we needed, I think. We got a lot of good young players, but I think we need somebody that kind of can corral us all around and can get us in the right direction.
In our game against Orlando, the single biggest player of the game.
Skiles says, let me have it. He puts up a clean version. That must feel good for Scott Skiles, who was traded to the Bullets by Orlando.
He brings that type of action to our team, and I think that type of leadership. You know, the guys respect me here. They know that it's my 9th year. They know I've played a long time. They know I've been in different kinds of situations, winning teams, losing teams. So I think, you know, they just respect the fact how hard I've worked and what it's taken me to get here.
Now, in This Week in NBA History, we begin with a look back to 1992, where Indiana guard Reggie Miller stung the Hornets with a career-high 57 points.
And people talk about the zone or whatever, and it's one of those nights.
It was a night when Miller knew early that something special was happening, and everything that he put up seemed to go in.
Yeah, I knew I had like 27 or 28 at halftime, and I thought, okay, well, maybe 40. And you hit 50, it's a different feeling.
In 1990, the Boston Celtics honored longtime announcer Johnny Most by retiring his microphone and honoring him in a way that is usually reserved for star players.
You can talk about Red Auerbach, Kuz, Sharman, Russell, Heine. I don't think any of them contributed any more to the success of the Celtics than Johnny Most with his raspy call.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right at 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass.
And finally, earlier that same week, legendary Celtics forward Larry Bird joined an exclusive club when Boston played the Washington Bullets.
You know the fans want to see it, and you know he's going to get it.
Bird forces one up, got it. A standing ovation for Larry Bird, who's gone over the 20,000-point mark.
Bird became just the second player in Celtic history to reach this milestone. And in doing so, became just the 5th player in NBA history to gather 20,000 points, 5,000 rebounds, and 5,000 assists. Can you name the first player to achieve this feat? The answer when we return, right here on NBA Action. Now the answer to this week's trivia question. The first player to gather 20,000 points, 5,000 rebounds, and 5,000 assists was Oscar Robertson. Robertson was also the first and only NBA player to average a triple-double for an entire season. This week's Performance of the Week comes courtesy of Utah's Jeff Hornacek, who smoked Seattle with a record-breaking three-point performance en route to a 40-point outing.
Centers it to Hornacek for a three ball. Got it. You better get on him early. The mailman. Took outside Hornacek for a three. He's in a zone. He has Malone on his right hip. Hornacek trailing. Look out. Whop. Jeff Hornacek is on fire.
When you start making shots, your confidence gets up. I mean, you feel you can make anything. And, it's just one of those nights where everything went well.
Horny was definitely playing tonight. I mean, three-pointers, layups, everything was going for him.
Stockton trying to drive in, double team. That's Hornacek for three. Got it. Go down. Where he's at right now, there's no time, there's no space. He can't hear anything. He can't feel anything. His breathing is effortless. Pump fakes out to Hornacek for threes and 6 already. 7 for 7. Hornacek continues to build on the Jazz record. Build on it with Hornacek striking for another three. Got it. Hornacek 8 for 8 3-point bomb.
Never seen a guy shoot the basketball like he shot it tonight. Seriously, it was great to be a part of it. Every time you gave him the ball, we didn't even worry about going to get the offensive rebound because he was hot. And we told him he was hot, but like I said, I've never seen a guy shoot like that.
Hornacek's performance was outstanding. But in this week's NBA Stories, we relive an even more impressive offensive performance. Last season, centers David Robinson and Shaquille O'Neal engaged in an epic duel for the NBA scoring title. With one game remaining, O'Neal stood 0.04 of a point ahead. The battle for scoring supremacy would go down to the wire.
O'Neal will finish that play. To Robinson. Look at this. Three-pointer by the Admiral. Whoa! Jack spinning like a tornado. Robinson taking command now.
For the game, we made a concentrated effort to say we're going to get you the ball, but you're going to have to go get it done. And the entire Clipper team, knew they were, day was coming at them.
When the dust settled, the Admiral became just the fourth player to reach the 70-point plateau. O'Neal scored 32, giving the title to Robinson by the narrowest of margins.
Give it to David. Grabbed by Ellis. Double team by Woods. Takes the jumper. Yes! 71 for David Robinson.
I looked up at the scoreboard. It said 71. I said, 71? I said, oh, my goodness.
He was definitely in the zone that night. Jumpers, layups, dunks, hooks, everything. Everything was falling for him. Bunch of three-point plays. And I know the Clippers had their hands full, and I know they went home and had nightmares about David Robinson for the next couple of weeks because he was just outstanding that night.
You want outstanding? You got it at NBA Encore. And there's no better way to start than with a block party.
Blocked by Hartley. P.J. Brown, late block. Into the fifth row by Brian Grant. Going some pressure full court again. Wow, big challenge. Looks like Cat.
12 on the shot clock as Mutombo spins baseline. Blocked from the backside. And a jump ball called. And Polonese pumping up Coswell.
Yeah, and here's another reason to get pumped up as we bring you some tremendous tip slams for our follow-up act.
Long scoop is hammered down by Robinson. To Smith. A three off the rim. No good. Oh, slammed in. Where did Andrew Lane come from? Rex Wahlers. Rex drops the three. Convincing.
Look out, there's a new Mr. Bill in Chicago.
Oh, Wellington.
Oh, too bad our phenomenal follow-ups have come to an end. But are we done yet? No way! We're moving on, and we got something wild in store for you, folks.
Grant Hill, they double-team him now with Harvey Grant alone. Grant scoops to the hoop, score the basket, and he is fouled. What a move. Holy mackerel.
D. Brown. Oh, what a difficult shot by D. Brown.
Johnny Dawkins forces, misses, gets it back. Triples on the up fake.
Oh,
up the extortion.
Ogman.
Nice job.
Beautiful? There's nothing more beautiful in basketball than the aerial artistry of an alley-oop.
Jackson. Alley-oop for Alston. Alston is a one-man wrecking crew. That lob again. Whoa. Eric Mobley. Lob to O'Neal. He caught it and hammered it home.
Now from the pages of the NBA Encyclopedia, a look back at the 1986 season. Dominique Wilkinson of the Atlanta Hawks captured the league scoring title, averaging just over 30 points per game. Larry Bird won the third of 3 straight MVP awards, leading the Boston Celtics to their 16th NBA championship. Milwaukee sharpshooter Craig Hodges led all three-point shooters for the first of his 2 titles. And New York's Patrick Ewing was named the NBA's Rookie of the Year. While Ewing enjoyed an impressive inaugural season, in our inside look we find another rookie who made his mark in 1986. 5'7" Spud Webb returned to his hometown of Dallas for the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship. Taking center stage before the game's premier players, Spud Webb prepared for liftoff against the league's highest flyers.
This is Dominique, the reigning champion. Stanberry going to be found to beat that one. And there's the flare. Now that was power and flare. Again, here's the guy.
Though his taller competitors all seemed better equipped to impress the judges, the rookie was undaunted.
I didn't know what dunk I was going to do or what I was going to try. I said, well, I've been doing these dunks for 5, 6 years, so why not do the same one?
And now, Spud's first attempt. Oh, my! 5'7", Spud Webb. See what Spud comes up with. Oh, yes.
Hey, what I tell you?
Spud's unexpected brilliance electrified the crowd and captured the imagination of all those who watched him.
I mean, he gets so high off the ground, it's like he's going up forever.
And now his once confident opponents scrambled to keep up with him.
That takes care of Gerald Wilkins, the...
But in the finals, it faces Atlanta Hawk teammate and defending champion Dominique Wilkins in what seemed to be an obvious mismatch. But again, Spud would rise to the occasion.
Woo! 360 for Spud Webb.
Damn, I got to go out with something more nasty than that.
Dominique. That'll be a 55. He took off the... Whoa! The best of the day in my view. Take that, little guy.
Dunk after spectacular dunk. Spud would somehow match his superstar teammate.
And Spud Webb comes through the clutch. A 50 from Spud Webb, and a deserved mark for sure.
And unexpectedly, it would be Dominique who would falter first.
And the judges have awarded Dominique Wilkins a 45. That's incredible.
Now, all alone on center stage, Spud would add a spectacular ending to one of sport's most unlikely Cinderella stories.
Well, Phil, you get done, I'm leaving.
Mike off the lob and reverse. Yes, come on now. Come on. Oh, my. That's the cherry on the sundae. Our new slam dunk champion with an incredible upset, Spud Webb.
We saved our best for last as we bring you the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown, we blast off with Penny Hardaway as he blows by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Stop. He used the iron as a defender. Oh, my.
At number 9, the Nets' P.J. Brown does his thing and keeps the Clippers winless.
What a play by P.J. Brown. What a
We're moving on to Houston, where the Rockets' Robert Horry soars over the Sonics.
Down to Akeem, twist inside, missed. Oh, Robert Horry! Robert Horry! Oh, did he come from the third row?
Okay, at number 7, you gotta really wonder whether there's any way to stop Hardaway.
Hardaway. Out the basket and a foul on David Wesley. What a terrific athletic play by Penny Hardaway.
Okay, for number 6, the new and improved Nuggets are sure dazzling them in Denver.
Robert back to Rogers, and he rocks the rim, and the Nuggets have forced in front.
Look out, there's another team on the move in the Midwest Division. It's Jimmy Jackson, Dallas Mavericks.
Nice
split on the feed from Williams. Yeah. Here comes Penny again, and this time he brings a rather famous running mate along.
Left hand, left wing pass to Hardaway. To O'Neal, he flies home.
Oh, boy, great look, Penny Hardaway. Tremendous court awareness.
You want court awareness? Check out number 3 in Atlanta, where Mookie turns into a miracle maker.
Counted and a foul. Oh, Mookie! I'd say he's a little more confident.
All right. Looks like the Blazers' James Robinson's gearing up for the Gatorade Slam Dunk Contest.
Robinson takes it in for the slam. James Robinson. Remember, he was at the slam dunk competition. So Mr. Robinson's used to that high altitude.
And faster than a speeding bullet, Chris Webber's back at the top of the countdown.
Duckworth to Webber behind the back of the slam. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Webber's going to wow them in Washington.
And he brings them out of their seats here at the U.S. Arena.
Action.
Miller time in your face. Oh, my. Ewing has been magnificent tonight. Kukoc for the win. It goes! Makambo embraces the ball. Hakeem Olajuwon take it away. Yeah, Payton for the Rain Man. Yeah, baby. Oh, my, the Admiral.
We begin this week's action reel with Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets, who are beginning to look a lot like champions again after slumping through most of December. Against the Hawks, Carl Herrera started for the injured Otis Thorpe, and he teamed with Hakeem to outfox the Hawks.
Herrera takes it in for 2. The 4 and 5 man playing together.
Hakeem's pinpoint passing, shooting, and rebounding was all the Rockets needed to pull it out after trailing for most of the game.
Well, it was a long uphill struggle, but the Houston Rockets made it.
Against Golden State, Rudy T had a game plan, and it started with a capital H. So Hakeem responded with 42 points.
And he fouled it again. Yes, they can't stop it. Cannot stop it.
He's going after everything defensively and offensively. You know, you can't guard him one-on-one. And when you do, it shows what happens.
But with the Warriors up by 1 with less than 2 seconds left, Vernon Maxwell launched a painful reminder that Hakeem's not the only star on this team.
Maxwell saves it. A 3. Yes! 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 Vernon Maxwell with a 3-pointer falling out of bounds. An unbelievable shot.
Houston would have little time to celebrate Maxwell's miracle because the Utah Jazz appeared ready to avenge last year's playoff elimination, a blow that was struck by the Rockets themselves. And while Hakeem piled up the points, his teammates showed the Jazz why Houston's still worthy of much respect in the post and on the perimeter.
Unbelievable 3-point shooting.
When we play together as a team and just in the flow of the game, that's my role on this team, is to make everybody, to maximize everybody's talent for us to win.
Nobody gets more out of his players than Mike Fratello. He's turned the Cavs into an early season force despite a rash of injuries to key players. But when Mark Price returned to the starting lineup, this defensive-minded squad got downright offensive.
He'll take the 3 if the shot was winding there. Price does it again.
We wanted to come in and make a statement, keep our streak going. I think Mark Price showed, what great shooter he is by igniting the crowd, igniting his team. It was just a great effort amongst all the guys tonight.
And Bobby Phills took it upon himself to drive the Cavs toward 10 straight wins against the Bullets.
Oh, Bobby Phills, so athletic on his run to the bucket.
This game featured precision passing, and Tyrone Hill found himself on the receiving end for 21 points. But Cleveland survives and thrives on defense. Some call it winning ugly, but the Cavs don't mind a bit.
That's how we usually been winning games. We try to create on defense and then let our offense come.
Well, Chris, there's nothing ugly about winning 10 games in a row.
They are playing together so well, and there it is again.
Former Cavs coach Lenny Wilkins picked the wrong time to get back to Cleveland. Mark Price was lighting it up again, and the Cavs squeaked out a close game that saw Terrell Brandon return from the flu. And he played just like another interchangeable part of the Cavalier machine.
The high lob is put down by Chris Mills.
Winning breeds confidence, and confidence breeds winning, and it just kind of, guys start believing in themselves, believing in a team, and you feel like when you step out on the court, you're going to have an opportunity to win the game.
While the Cavs grounded the Hawks, in this week's News, Notes, and Quotes, we find that earlier in the week, Lenny Wilkins won his 12th game of the year, tying him with Red Auerbach atop the all-time coaching win list.
Hey, Red, you've got company. Lenny Wilkins, 938 wins.
It was the hardest 12 games I've ever coached, but it was great.
I'm glad that we were able to play well, and I couldn't be happier. Being a part of history. Not only is he a great coach, but you couldn't give it to a more deserving person.
While Wilkins reached a memorable milestone, Knicks head coach Pat Riley attained one he'd just as soon forget. For the first time in his 12-year coaching career, his team lost 5 straight games, and the impact of Charles Oakley's injury has been a major factor.
He has a dislocated toe. He had a streak, 268 games straight, ended last night.
We don't have anybody on the team quite like him. His whole game is one of intangibles and sacrifice and effort and stuff.
Veteran center Herb Williams was the latest Knick to go down with an injury. A fractured bone in his left hand will put the reliable reserve out of action for 4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. And now I'm eating every word I said preseason. I said that we wouldn't go, there's nothing that we can go through that we didn't go through last year. Shoot, everything we're going through this year is new, so I'm eating my words.
Some good news, however, for New York. Swingman Doug Christie's returned after a prolonged injury. And after defeating the Timberwolves, the Knicks are currently riding a 3-game winning streak. Now, the man who's about to become the NBA's all-time leader in coaching victories is holding court. As a player, he was a quiet superstar who passed and dribbled his way into the Hall of Fame, believing that teamwork, dedication, and selflessness were the keys to success. As a coach, Lenny Wilkens has continued to practice this philosophy, earning not only the respect of his players, but a remarkable record of achievement. Soon, Wilkens will earn his 939th victory, surpassing Red Auerbach, the Boston Celtics legendary leader, as the NBA's all-time winningest coach.
Somebody had to do it. And a guy like Lenny comes along, who's a friend of mine, it makes you feel good because it shows he's got ability to last that long, he's got staying power, and he knows how to win.
Wilkens' success in the NBA began as a player. He was an outstanding point guard for 15 seasons, including 5 years in which he served as a player coach, before turning his attention to coaching full-time.
I think that when I first started out in coaching, I don't think a lot of people took me serious as that I would stay in this profession. And I didn't know if I would stay in it myself, to be honest with you. But I began to enjoy the profession. I began to realize that I could do it effectively.
Wilkens led teams in Seattle, Portland, Cleveland, and Atlanta to the playoffs in 12 of the last 16 seasons. And coached the Supersonics to an NBA championship in 1979. He was also responsible for the resurgence of the Cavaliers, who had fallen on difficult times before Wilkens took the team's young talent and molded it into a team that consistently made the playoffs.
I think the thing that helps you to stay is that you've got to win. You've got to be able to work with people. Okay, you got to be able to communicate. People have to see that, owners, general managers. They have to see that ability that you have, okay, to make a difference in a team. And I feel that I've had that. I could win, I could go in, change the situation around. I could take a bad situation and make it pretty good.
His philosophy for the game, as far as the coaches, you know, the X's and O's, is, I mean, he sets us up and he's always getting us a shot or an excellent chance at the basket. But moreover, he does more teaching to the guys than anything.
Wilkens' coaching ability not only earned him a spot as the head coach of 4 NBA All-Star teams, but also the enviable position of assistant coach to the 1992 Dream Team, which easily won the gold medal in Barcelona.
Goes to the left hand.
Stressing the same principles that characterized his career as a player: teamwork, discipline, and the ability to think on the court. Wilkens commands a level of respect and effort from his players that's enabled him to surpass a record that once seemed unbeatable. Now, in this edition of NBA Stories, flashy Sonics point man Gary Payton relives 2 of 1994's finest passes.
It's just an instinct thing. They let me play free. They don't put no chains on me, and I do whatever I have to do to make this team win.
3 on the 24-second clock. Skips to the ball by Pierce. Sends it ahead to Gary. Too far ahead. He saves it. He'll lay it in. Oh, you gotta love that action.
Pierce threw the ball too far, and I was thinking about how the tennis players be slapping the ball between their legs with the racket. All of a sudden, I jumped and I spread my legs and threw it through my legs, and Rick was right there and he hit him in stride.
The pass was nice, but I think the effort is what made that play. He really had to hustle to keep the ball from going out of bounds, and it was a tremendous play.
A frequent partner on the highlight reel is high-flying Sean Kemp.
Everything that Gary and Sean do together, you know, is a highlight for him. I remember all the plays that they've done to us.
And there's one of the key turnovers triggered by the Seattle defense. Between the legs to Sean Kemp. What an assist from Gary Payton.
Gary, he does things at the spur of the moment to keep the game interesting, to keep your mind into it. And one thing, when he has the ball in his hand, you got to pay attention because he'll whip it between his legs like he did last year.
I was like, man, I did that, you know, after you look at it on the thing.
While Kemp and Payton have developed into one of the NBA's most potent combinations, they've yet to lead the league in scoring or assists. In fact, only 4 times in the history of the NBA have teammates led the league in those statistical categories during the same season. Can you name the last teammates to accomplish this rare feat? The answer when we return right here on NBA Action. Welcome back to NBA Action.
I see this team really on the rise in the future, and I want to be a part of that change.
Look at the rip by Grant.
I feel this is the best possible situation that Brian Grant could be in.
Now the answer to this week's trivia question. The last teammates to lead the league in scoring and assists in the same season were Johnny Moore and George Gervin of the San Antonio Spurs. In 1982, the Iceman was the NBA's top scorer, while Moore was the league's premier playmaker, averaging nearly 10 assists a game. Anthony Hardaway is a guard who could pass and score, and against the Clippers, he was on fire. He reached into his magic bag of tricks to hold off LA in an overtime thriller.
He'll feed AB beautifully. Penny cuts on Sealy off the window and in, making Sealy nuts. And Magic just going over the top to Penny, and he blindly feeds Shaquille. Beautiful play.
Nice play.
That's why they're superstars in this league, because they have the ability to do that.
In a dogfight with the feisty Clippers, Penny simply imposed his will in the second half.
Penny Hardaway beats Sealy. He'll rock it to the hole.
Yes. No chance to miss that one.
5 minutes left in the period. Shaq double. Toss across. Penny will fire 3. In traffic. He hits for 20. And fought the rebound. Nearly stepped out of bounds. Penny the steal. Looks for the big fella. Wants the screen now. Over the top. Shaq catches it stuffed.
Great look, Penny.
Penny loads up for 3. Good! Ties it up.
He just took the game over in the second half.
Hardaway finished with 34 points and 10 assists. And all of December, he's been spectacular, spearheading the most successful month in franchise history.
Man, this was a very tough month, and it ended with a hard-playing Clippers team that really showed what they were made of tonight. And hopefully we'll get a lot of rest and be ready to play when we come back in January.
Now, the Pistons' all-purpose big man is on the rise. Terry Mills has established himself as one of the league's premier sharpshooting power forwards, improving his scoring in each of his 4 NBA seasons. Mills again. Still, for Terry, it's been a tough struggle. After being drafted by Milwaukee in 1990, he was immediately dealt to Denver.
Terry Mills is
Well, that's inexcusable.
Then, after a year and a half as a role player in New Jersey, Mills was signed by his hometown Pistons.
I think everyone wants to go back home. I think it's a dream come true to play in a team that you idolized.
As a member of the Detroit Pistons, Mills has made a sudden and thorough impact.
He's been the offensive blood of this team because when we've been down, he's done it everywhere. He's done it in the post, done it in the perimeter, done it from the three-point line. He's hit some big shots to win games.
Terry. He's got to put it up. Fires. Got it! Oh, my! Unbelievable!
We knew last year that he was capable of putting up big numbers offensively. We thought that he had a lot to be desired defensively. He really worked hard on his defense, came in really concentrating on playing good defense, and as a result has become a much better defensive player and leader.
Now, an all-around force, Terry Mills, along with rookie sensation Grant Hill, looks to lead the Detroit Pistons back to the top of the Central Division.
Our record it's on the rise. You know, we feel comfortable with that. We feel that we can make the playoffs and make a run.
Mills isn't the only guy tearing up the league. In NBA Encore, here's some other players who have something wild for us.
Oh, center step. Oh, yeah. Drexler on the run behind the back for the finger roll.
What would Encore be without a smooth move from Scottie Pippen? Or one from Isaiah Ryder's highlight reel.
And Durant into Ewing. By Ewing to the rack. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Those are fancy moves, all right. But they don't stand a chance at the block party.
Dribble drive, come underneath. And blocked by Bowie. Again, blocked by Bowie.
Check out Akeem swatting Bimbo Cole. And P.J. Brown making the big dog look like a mere pup. And if you drive the lane in the NBA, well, you're bound to meet the Admiral.
Burrell drives in, is knocked away by Robinson. Deep to Lister, turns trying to jam. Grant Hill blocked the shot. He gets it back, rejects it again. Oliver Miller.
All right, that's enough for defense. Time to check out some fellas who just have a passing fancy.
And it's picked off by Dudley. Dudley, Drexler, tap pass, Strickland, Drexler. Strickland, they score! Trent, pretty play for Payton.
Out comes the kid. Now, this is where he's at his best, in the open floor. He is so creative.
Look at that pass.
Awesome Ashburn.
Glenn Robinson might have had some trouble in the block party, but that's all in the pass. He can find the open man, and so can Tim Hardaway. All right, enough of that finesse stuff. Let's check out some of the guys that are jamming, baby.
Blue takes it strong to the bucket. Hardaway down the 35 seconds remaining in the half.
Buck's been taking it to the rack for years. But these days, nobody does it better than high-flying Latrell Sprewell. And Denver's Rodney Rogers.
Rodney Rogers, take that!
In Chalk Talk, we examine one of the more unique methods of scoring. Last week, Shaq turned the tables on Penny.
Shaq with the old backboard pass. I haven't seen that since Youth League basketball, for crying out loud.
Oh, but we remember seeing it just last season.
Well, they were looking over the backboard pass. There it is, and Weber was expecting it. That clicked.
And, of course, Larry and company.
That's a set play off the backboard. What a beauty. Johnson bounces it to Bird. That's a great play.
Now, an inside look at another of Bird's finest performances from the 1992 playoffs. With Boston's series against the upstart Pacers deadlocked at 2 games apiece, and the deciding 5th game in Boston Garden, Bird would again take his team's fate into his own hands.
Short outlet goes to Bird. Bird spots up from 20. Switch! Let's see if they go to Person. There he is. Yes!
As Bird reached deep into his arsenal to counter Person's long-range barrage, the Celtics held the game even throughout a bitterly contested first half. But as the second quarter drew to a close, disaster would strike.
Power shot to recovery. Bird is hurt. Bird is down, and he's hurt. He got rocked to the floor as he was going to get that loose ball.
What went through her mind? Just hope it wasn't anything too serious. You know, obviously, if was something wrong with me, anytime you see Larry Bird walks off the court, something seriously got to be wrong.
The suddenly bewildered Celtics were left reeling.
And then he lost it in the open floor.
And an energized Chuck Person looked to deliver the knockout blow.
They know the leader is not on the floor. Someone needs to step up now for Boston.
What the Boston Celtics needed was clear. But at age 34, with an injured back and now a broken cheekbone, Bird seemed to have little reason to respond, except pride.
And here comes Larry Bird. Bird is on the bench. He's got the warm-up jacket on. Listen to the crowd.
Some guys, they'll dislocate a finger and go ahead and play with it. Some guys can dislocate a finger and be out 6 weeks. But to me, you know, I didn't want some little injury messing up my whole season.
Reggie Miller's shot rebounded by Bird, who rips it down for Lord. And he is back in the ballgame. Bird ahead of the field.
In his dramatic return, Larry Bird gave the Celtics new life and added yet another chapter to his legend.
No, he'll take it all net. Wow.
Now, but Larry Bird is answering the challenge put forth to him, and he's letting it all hang out today.
We all jumped on his weak back, and he took us home.
Bird with the step on Schlepp. Yes.
Most players wouldn't even been able to play. And I think it says a lot about the person, you know, to will himself on the court.
Bird has to hurry. 5 in the shot clock. The turnaround. Rainbow is all net, and he's going to the line.
You say to yourself, how many times does he drive that spike through your heart with shots like this?
But certainly this, out of the pages of Willis Reed.
Eclipsing even the Celtics' triumph, Larry Bird's stirring performance touched all those who were privileged to witness it.
You know, I already have a lot of respect for Larry Bird, but the way he played today, you know, it's like the stuff you tell your kids about. And I told him at the end of the game, I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, we've saved the best for last as we bring you the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown. All right, we're off and running with this nightmare for the Warriors, Tom Gugliotta.
Pass is off to Gugliotta, blocked by Elijah. Dream is actually saying, this is my territory tonight.
At number 9, Mark Jackson and the Pacers are looking mighty fine, thank you.
Cutters, Mark Jackson. Oh, man, what a pass. Mark Jackson behind his back, the blind look to Rick Smith.
Good, yeah, but look at Sean Elliott put it on the floor and then slam the door.
Elliott working on Ken Norman.
Oh, my goodness. By Sean Elliott.
At number 7, the Hawk Steve Smith answers Elliott's power with a little finesse.
Smith. Oh, Steve, are you special? Oh, my.
Looking for a 4-point play? Well, Mark Price hits the tray, plus the foul.
Price again will take the 3. I cannot believe it. He can't believe it.
At number 5, it looks like the Clippers reeled in a big one.
Clippers have the ball down by, oh, Matt makes a slam dunk. How about that for the rookie?
Woo! Woo! Look at Dana Barros bail out the Sixers with some long-range touch in the clutch.
Barros checks, lost the ball. Henson all over. He's going to throw it up at the horn. He hit for 3.
Well, it's stop at number 3 as Jason Kidd touches one to Tarp.
Missed the 3. Kidd tipped it to Tarpley for the layup.
You talk about heads up. You have to know where that player is. You have to know where the ball is, and you got to get it there.
For the Sonics, basketball sure is a lot of fun when Kendall Gill's on the run.
Oh, my. And a foul.
Holy heave at number 1. It looks like Moses' prayers are answered.
2.4 seconds remaining. Moses with a long distance attempt. It goes! It goes with one hand for Moses Malone.
I'm Jim Fink. From everybody at NBA Action, we wish you a happy 1995. And here's another look at Detroit's Terry Mills.
Mills with 5 left to shoot. Has to force a 3. High archer, it goes!
And Rodman scrambling with Grant at midcourt. The ball is out of bounds, and so is Dennis.
In this week's Action Reel, our first stop is Charlotte, where the Hornets celebrated their first home win ever against Portland. Center Alonzo Mourning was outstanding as the Hornets posted their 8th straight home win.
Mourning bump, good, foul, Dudley. Boy, they're not doing too many things wrong here tonight.
Brilliant teamwork and balanced scoring have been the keys for the Hornets lately. Against New Jersey, precision passing allowed 6 Hornets to reach double figures in scoring.
When you get into a rhythm as a team and your chemistry starts to show, and then it becomes your unselfish, basketball team.
And that unselfishness has led to one of the most successful streaks in franchise history. But Alonzo and the Hornets are still not satisfied.
We are happy, but we can't rest on our past laurels. We got to continue to work hard.
The Hornets worked hard against Boston as their 5th consecutive victory put them 7 games above 500 for the first time in their history, and also gave the franchise 200 total wins. After losing 5 straight, New York coach Pat Riley has the Knicks back on track. They handed Atlanta their 8th loss in 11 games as power forward Charles Smith got off to a strong start inside. The Knicks front court overpowered the Hawks, and all-star center Patrick Ewing turned in another steady performance. The Knicks then traveled to Cleveland, where Cavs head coach Mike Fratello saw guard John Starks explode for 23 second-half points.
Starks spotting up and burying another 3. Oh, John Starks is torrid.
In a win against Minnesota, Hubert Davis sparked the offense as he connected on a career-high 6 3-pointers.
Here's Davis for 3. Yes! Hubert Davis.
Well, I think Coach is going with people that are just going to do the job for number 1 to the 12th man.
Final 102-87, and the Knicks with their 6th straight win.
In Los Angeles, the new Lakers have brought excitement back to the Forum. Led by young guns Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, the Lakers had won 14 of 18, entering their game against Detroit. With Sedell freed on the sidelines, Van Exel would have to run the show.
Van Exel is really becoming a point guard. It's all it's about as a point guard, the decisions you make.
Nick made excellent decisions against the Pistons.
Here's to Van Exel for 3 on the way. Good. Van Exel, Nick.
And Nick was back at the controls as the Lakers beat Milwaukee for the 4th consecutive time at the Great Western Forum.
3-on-1 break. Van Exel, no look pass to Smith. Score!
Everybody feels that they contributed in some way, shape, or form, and that's what it takes. You're in the NBA, you got to play without your stars sometimes.
Against Miami, the Lakers would be without leading scorer Cedric Ceballos for the 2nd straight time. But center Vlade Divac stepped up by amassing his 3rd career triple-double.
Yeah, the Lakers are going to win their 5th game in a row, and they will make it 6 straight on the home court.
While the Lakers continue to roll on without the services of Ceballos. In this week's News, Notes, and Quotes, we find he became the first Laker to win the Player of the Month honor in 4 years.
Slam dunk!
Ceballos, who recorded a 50-point performance against Minnesota, ranks in the top 20 in scoring and rebounding. Milwaukee's Glenn Robinson was the Schick NBA Rookie of the Month after leading the Bucks offense, averaging nearly 20 points a game. The big dog also played tenacious defense.
Rejected by Robinson.
After leading Cleveland to a 12-3 record, Mike Fratello was named IBM Coach of the Month.
Mike has just done a great job in terms of having game plans and preparation, getting our guys ready to play.
Indiana coach Larry Brown had a memorable week as well, notching career win number 500. And Atlanta Hawks head coach Lenny Wilkens was successful in his 3rd attempt at breaking the most coveted coaching milestone of them all.
Lenny Wilkens, his 2nd season with the Hawks, his 22nd as an NBA coach, is now the winningest coach in the history of the National Basketball Association.
The nicest thing about all this is that I have received cards, letters, telegrams from people all over the world. It is a big deal, and I certainly am happy that I'm a part of this.
I can't tell you enough about the man. I mean, everybody says, well, he's been in the league 22 years, and you know, but that tells you something. I mean, he's been around that long. Something he's doing is right.
The following night, Wilkens was honored by NBA Commissioner David Stern.
I have nothing but love and respect both for him and the legend whose record he broke, which really defines the greatness of both of them.
And now, Avery Johnson, the little big man of the San Antonio Spurs, is holding court. Avery Johnson's NBA career has been a 6-year odyssey. The journeyman point guard has played for 5 different teams, constantly shouldering the burden of proving himself under different circumstances. Remarkably, he's played for the Spurs on 3 separate occasions. And despite being uprooted from nearly every stop on his NBA tour, Avery just keeps getting better.
I've been improving over the last 6 years, and I want to continue to improve. That's my trademark, and I'm not surprised one bit.
Avery got his first chance as a starting point guard when John Lucas became coach of the San Antonio Spurs in 1992.
AJ, take the point from my club.
And the Spurs would run with the best of them with AJ at the point, as his quickness in the open court ignited San Antonio's offense. In the games that he started, the Spurs raced to a 31-18 record, and nobody appreciated his contributions more than his teammates.
AJ is one of the quickest players in the league with the ball, and fastest. He gets to the hole quickly, makes great decisions, and is a big leader for our team.
But somehow, Avery was deemed expendable, and he wound up with Golden State for the '94 season. With Tim Hardaway out for the year, Avery stepped in and ran the show. After only 9 days with the team, he was named co-captain. And throughout the season, his high-energy game was at its best.
Avery Johnson blows by Legler. Ball fake, Johnson puts it up and in. That was a dynamic move by Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson trying to take matters into his own hands, and he does it again. He's taken over.
Avery was a favorite of Warriors assistant coach Greg Popovich. And when he was hired as GM of the Spurs, it was back to San Antonio for Johnson.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, but mainly why I came back is because of Greg Popovich and our new administration there. They really changed the direction of the organization because they really lifted the organization to a new level.
New head coach Bob Hill is vowed to put the running game back into the San Antonio Spurs offense. And who better to run the point? That good old AJ.
Oh, Avery, he's the spark plug. He makes everybody else go. He's the one that has the ball that, calls the plays. He's the missing ingredient that we've been missing here in the last couple of years of point guard, and he's fit that real well.
While AJ solidifies his place as one of the league's best open court passers, his scoring ability is improving, and he baffles opponents with his ball fakes in the lane.
I think that's the move that people recognize me with. Everybody has a signature move, and I've gotten better and better at it, especially because I have big hands, and when you get in there against big guys like that, you got to use all the tricks that you can.
He's one of only 4 players to increase his scoring average in his first 6 seasons. There's no doubt about Avery's determination.
What a shot by the smallest man on the court.
With the ball in Avery's hands, there's no telling how strong the Spurs can be. But if they can improve the way A.J. has in his 6-year journey, well, they'll be just fine, thank you.
The little man comes up big.
In This Week in NBA History, 2 of the all-time greats left their mark on professional basketball. In 1993, the Detroit Pistons honored Bob Lanier by retiring his number. It would be the 2nd time that this honor would be bestowed on Lanier. In 1984, the Bucks also retired his number 16.
Bob, I get to represent your fans around the country, together with all the NBA players and other owners, to say congratulations and thank you. And not just as one of the great players to wear a uniform in our league or for this team, but for everything you've done in your leadership role.
Besides playing in the league from 1970 through 1984, Lanier was also the chairman of the NBA Stay in School program and is currently an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors. Also this week in 1991, Michael Jordan broke the 15,000-point barrier with this free throw against the Philadelphia 76ers at the Spectrum.
Michael says, come on back in a couple more years. I'll be working on 20.
Ironically, 2 years later, during the same week, Michael was working on 20.
Could be it. There it is! What a way to go, Mike. 20,000 points in the career of Michael Jordan.
I'm happy for the 20,000. I think that's something to be proud about. You know, it's one of those individual honors that you take and you cherish for a long period of time.
Jordan's accelerated scoring pace was second only to that of Wilt Chamberlain's. But neither player can touch the all-time record for scoring consistency and longevity. Can you name the player who recorded the most consecutive seasons with 1,000 or more points? The answer when we return right here on NBA Action.
Ashburn, thank you, man.
If you don't watch out this big man, you get dunked.
Endo Gale through Mount Matumbo.
I tell you what, it's a big embarrassment.
Now the answer to this week's trivia question. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar recorded the most consecutive seasons with 1,000 or more points. Starting in 1969 as a rookie with the Bucks, the NBA's all-time scoring leader accomplished the feat an incredible 19 straight times, ending with the Lakers in 1988. Gary Payton has a long way to go to catch Kareem, but against the Cavs, the NBA Player of the Week was on fire.
Look at the run by Payton. Gary Payton is off early. Gary Payton is 2 for 2 as he rises over Hot Rod Williams. Payton just whirls by Mark Price hard to the bucket.
Payton had yet to miss a field goal, and his hot streak continued.
Payton with the roll. Gary Payton tonight absolutely on fire. He's now 6 for 6 from the floor.
Every basket I was going, I was just like, dang, I made another one, I made another one.
Look at Payton on the 3-on-1. He'll finish.
I made another one, I made another one. It was like, get it.
Payton's going to start the run. Look at the ball movement. Payton 10 for 10. Starts that Seattle run again. Payton to the hole, yep.
Then I realized I had 12 in a row, and I was like, man, I did that.
But on the bench, Sonics coach George Karl told him he only had 2 more to tie the team record. Had Payton hit the floor on a mission.
Payton's going to be 13 for 13. Gary Payton in some other stratosphere. Payton, how about 14 for 14? That is a team record for the Seattle Sonics for field goal proficiency.
You know, you can't top a night like that. You know, you might not do it again. So I'm going to live with it for this year.
Another red-hot talent is Boston's 7-foot center, the subject of this week's Rookie Review. Eric Moncrief.
I like to bang. It's not going to be real flashy, but I've always been a back-to-the-basket player.
Drafted 9th overall out of the University of North Carolina, Montrose has made an immediate impact against some of the NBA's most intimidating big men.
He's gradually, day by day, gotten better, and I think he's done a very good job out there playing against some of the big-name centers.
There are no really slouch centers in the NBA at all, so you look at that and you say you can learn an awful lot, and at the same time, it's going to be a tough road.
For now, though, The combination of power and finesse has made this rookie excel with a team so rich in tradition.
When people think of Boston, they think about, the middle position, they'll think of Eric, and they'll know that he's, a force to be reckoned with. A lot of 7-footers aren't as mobile as he is and aren't able to do a lot of the things that he can do.
Displaying tremendously diverse skills that often take years to develop, Montrose has proven to be a quick learner.
I think Eric has done a great job. If I had to gauge him, I would say that he's ahead of schedule. And he's really coming along for a big guy. A lot of times it takes big guys a little bit longer, but he's coming along, and we're really excited about where he is.
And just this past week against Portland, he scored a career-high 23 points.
If I can really feel like I get something out of every game, then I'll be able to look back and say it was a successful season.
Now we've learned a thing or two here at NBA Action, and one of the best ways to kick off Encore is with an assortment of tasty dishes.
Jason Kidd, some pass ahead to Mashburn. What a feed by Kidd.
Here's one served up on a platter by General Sherman.
That was a terrific pass, though, to Derek Strong.
Everybody's getting into the act.
Now Luke tipped it back to BJ. Baseline Myers, inside Tony to Scotty.
And they're doing it out west, too.
Cycling with the double team, and it worked. Step pass by Gugliotta. Sprewell. Beautiful pass by Gugliotta.
And Lottie adds a touch of flavor.
Beats the Vladdy underneath.
Ouch, what an attack. Call for the, SWAT team. Yeah, it just might be the basket's only hope.
Clifford Robinson rejected by Lane. Suns by 4. Their biggest lead has been 6. That's rejected by Smith.
Here's Skiles getting it down the left to Murison. Spin move. Shot rejected by Davis. Caught by Mark Jackson the other way for the Pacers. Down the left side, trailing McKee. Drives the lane, running scoop. Rejected by Murison.
I wouldn't go in there.
Pass inside there. Oh, blocked by Elijah Wan.
And now for a fantastic finish. How about a little beat the clock, NBA style?
He goes by Drexler, who snatches it away from him. Drexler driving it up to Strickland, who scores at the buzzer. With 3.8 left. Now Garland whips it ahead to Ryder. Yes, at the buzzer. J.R. Ryder soars in. Kerr from the corner. Scotty the push. Yes, at the buzzer. Scotty Pippen off the glass. Time running out for Mookie. He'll launch. And count.
In this edition of Chalk Talk, let's look at a rule change that's impacting the NBA.
If you're shooting a three-point shot and you get fouled, why shouldn't you get 3 free throws? Late in the ball game, I think it'll come into play.
And it did come into play in Utah's game with the Spurs, as John Stockton looked to tie it up in the final seconds.
10 seconds. Stockton fouled. That'll be 3 free throws.
But with a chance to tie the game, John Stockton missed 2 out of 3 free throws, and the Spurs took home the victory. Now, we take an inside look at a very memorable and emotional All-Star Classic. The 1991 All-Star Game once again brought the sport's premier performers together at the league's showcase event. But while the NBA's best would put their talents on display, this year they'd have to perform under the most difficult of circumstances. Less than a month before, the Persian Gulf War had begun. Back in Charlotte, North Carolina, this 41st edition of the NBA All-Star Game would clearly take on a special meaning.
We're just trying to play our part, and hopefully that we can bring some joy, some laughter, and smile to their hearts and minds, and maybe ease some of the tension that they're going through.
The NBA and its players have dedicated the 1991 All-Star Weekend to the brave men and women of our armed forces serving in the Persian Gulf and to their families. Today's game is being broadcast live to our troops and Armed Forces Radio and Television.
From the start, this contest was played at a fever pitch.
Drexler trailing the play, and that's timing only teammates can exhibit. It's the eye contact. Jordan. Away with the basket. Here's Hardaway. Robinson. Off a great pass. Keeping it alive, finding Ewing.
But perhaps it was Charles Barkley who best expressed the emotion of the day.
It was great because the troops got a chance to see the game. I hope it took their mind off that stuff for 2 hours. That's what sports is about. Persian Gulf War is real. Sports are entertainment.
And for 2 brief hours filled with non-stop excitement, Barkley would entertain the troops with his trademark boundless energy.
And Magic has the rebound. Barkley rejects it.
Charles coming out on fire. Oh, what a move. Barkley with the spin.
In the block to Barkley. Malone got a hand on it. Barkley got it back, and there you go.
A sensational play by Barkley.
Finds Jordan. Great pass from Barkley for the jam. Not many forwards who can do that.
Late in the game, Charles would cap his performance with an exclamation point as only he could.
Barkley, all the way.
And when the 1991 All-Star game was over, it adds still another punctuation mark to the day.
I hope everybody had a really good time today, and I hope I hope this situation in the Persian Gulf puts sports in perspective. Hopefully, sports will get back in its proper context, what it is, entertainment. And I hope for 2 hours today, the troops over in the Persian Gulf and the fans can forget about everything and just enjoy themselves.
We saved our best for last as we bring you the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown. It's not smart to challenge Mount Matumbo, but that's exactly what Pat Durham did.
Durham and Matumbo. Durham over Matumbo. Well, that's the way you do it. We said it before. Shot blocker, they can block a shot.
At number 9, hey, with a little defense, there's no telling how Philly will finish.
Turnaround jumper blocked by Sean Bradley, and Bradley comes down with the ball. Ahead to Dana Barrows. Behind the back foot, nicely done for B.J. Tyler or Austin for the slam dunk. Beautiful move.
Now in Orlando, they're used to Shaq attacks, but how about some penny power?
No, rebound Dennis. Magic run out, whips ahead to Hardaway. He'll challenge Smith.
Oh, my. Oh, hey.
At number 7, we're in L.A., where it's sure tough keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh, he's a great pass. Slam dunk Jones.
You know, a guy that runs the floor as well as anybody in the league. Jones.
Eddie Jones. That's because he's a gazelle, boy. He can fly.
At U.S. Air Arena, Detlef airs it out from downtown.
Schrempf with the bomb. Oh, that counts. Detlef Schrempf buries it from mid-court.
Okay, now at number 5, we got us a crazy close to a half in Cleveland.
Mark on the dead sprint. Outstanding pass to Mills, who put it in with a reverse.
Putting 2 point guards in the game, the Knicks were unable to stop the full court dribble.
At number 4, Miami's Billy Owens was, well, tremendous on his way to a triple-double.
And here he goes. Nice pass. All right. Billy Owens setting it up for G-Money.
At number 3, Washington's Larry Stewart just lets it fly.
Rebounded by Larry Stewart. Oh, my. He was trying to make a pass that went off of Sam Perkins' hand and went right in the basket.
Oh, what a fantastic finish in Boston as the Blazers' Clyde Drexler glides in for the game winner.
Gets it ahead to Drexler. Drexler throws it up. Count it! With 6/10 of a second to go.
And for the number 1 play of the week, well, there's only one way to do it in Orlando. The Hardaway.
2-on-1. Oh, the feed to Shaquille O'Neal. What a play.
I'm Jim Fake. Next week on NBA Action, Mark Jackson of the Indiana Pacers will be holding court. See you then.
What a pass by Jackson inside to Antonio Davis.
25th annual NBA All-Star Game, where a galaxy of the league's brightest stars came together for the ultimate pickup game in the Valley of the Sun.
Gary Payton of Seattle feeding to his Sonics teammate, Sean Kemp. And the West leads 14-12. And the fast break pays off. It's Kemp.
As always, it was a spirited but friendly competition.
So that is the end of the first quarter of the 45th NBA All-Star Game. Mitch Richmond fires, yes. Here's a 2-on-1 Richmond with Malone. Richmond off the ball fake, got it to Malone. Ewing had his pass intercepted by Sprewell. Too many white shirts. Benson Barkley finishes it off. And that is the end of the first half with the West leading the East 72-56. The story of the first half, tremendous shooting by the West, 55%.
There's a couple of guys in the backcourt starting for the East that have drawn donuts. Miller and Hardaway have been non-existent.
That's a three-pointer for Reggie Miller, and rebounded by O'Neal.
Well, O'Neal pushed everybody out of the way and is trying to go all the way.
And the foul! Shaquille O'Neal taking it the length of the court, and he will go to the line. The East with 11 unanswered points to cut it to an 8-point lead. Richmond is now 7 of 9 for the field. He has 15 points. Richmond pulls up for three. Yes. And Hardaway off the nice lead. Porter. Payton for Marty, gets it back out for Richmond, who fires for three. Yes. The West with a 139-112 victory over the East.
Congratulations to the All-Star MVP, Mitch Richmond.
Thank you. Felt good to just come to the All-Star game and hold my head up high and say I'm a Sacramento King. That was the best feeling, I think, overall the whole week. But this tops it.
All-Star Saturday night proved to be an exciting warm-up to the game itself. The Schick rookie game featured a standout performance by the Lakers' Eddie Jones.
Now, Eddie Jones, he finishes. You know, there are a lot of guys who get out on the break in the NBA and can't finish. This guy finishes whether there is traffic or not. He's some kind of an athlete.
And there's the steal from Eddie Jones. If you get a player like Eddie Jones who comes out of Temple, you know one thing, he will play defense.
We've got 5:10 to go with 7-point lead.
Was on the baseline and they switched out.
Finger roll goes and it's time.
All right.
And we're going to have overtime. Now, the overtime is exciting. First team to score 3 points will win.
Oh, nice pass.
And that does it. Lamar Murray from Big Dog Robinson. The MVP is Eddie Jones.
The next event was the AT&T Long Distance Shootout.
We've got the best three-point shooters in the land in this contest, from Nick Anderson, Dana Barrow, Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr, Dan Marley, Reggie Miller, Chuck Person, Glenn Rice. It ought to be a beauty.
Miami's Glenn Rice turned up the heat.
Look at the top of the key again. Boy, does he love this. He got them all this time. Man, oh man, does he make hay up there. There's 17. 19 for Reggie Miller. Strong finish. Now the top two shooters advance, and they are Rice and Reggie Miller. It's simply head-to-head competition between Glenn Rice and Reggie Miller. If he posts 18, that's going to be tough to beat. He gets 17. He didn't get it. He's done. He can't win it now. He can tie with all six. He's out of there. Glenn Rice is our new long-distance shootout champion.
In the Slam Dunk Championship, Isaiah Ryder looked to defend his title against a formidable crew of contenders, led by 93 champ Harold Miner. In America West Arena, the contestants warmed up and played to a capacity crowd.
Calling for attention from the crowd now. Get up, big dude! Get up! Come on, big dude! This kid's got some hops.
Whoa! Oh, yes. But once the first round was underway, it was nothing but high-flying business.
That was a good one.
Oh, yes.
That was nice. That was very nice.
As they neared the final round, the competition thinned considerably. And with the rest of the field out of the picture, the two former champs went head-to-head on center stage.
It'll be a shock if Harold Miner doesn't walk away with this one. And our winner is Harold Miner. No wonder he's smiling so much.
The heat wave up in here, y'all take notes.
I always talk about, to Patrick that, one day I'm going to get him.
Bonner gets it up to Starks on Akeem, and he slams it over Elijah Wan. Oh, my goodness. What a play by John Starks.
Patrick came to me after the game and said, "You finally did it."
And now the man who supplies the New York Knicks with that necessary spark is holding court.
4 years ago, he was playing in the CBA. Now he's an all-star, and his explosive scoring and stifling defense help make his team a power in the East. from the New York Knicks, John Starks.
For John Starks, it was a tough road to the top. After a brief stint in Golden State, he wound up in the CBA.
I understood that in order for me to get to the next level, get back up to that next level, I had to improve in a lot of areas of my game.
In October of 1990, the Knicks took a gamble on Starks, and the explosive guard quickly paid dividends. His all-out style energized his team at both ends of the floor.
Blocked by Starks in ferocious style.
BJ tried to stay with him. Starks goes baseline. And boom!
Last year, John Starks was instrumental in New York's drive to the finals. And the Knicks sharpshooter came up big against Houston with a memorable performance in the all-important Game 6.
John Starks unconscious here in the fourth quarter.
I was in good rhythm that whole night.
Starks for three, yes! John Starks keeping the Knicks alive.
You know, I felt like whatever I did, it was going to go in.
But Game 7 would be a drastically different story.
So he continues to fire away. 1 for 10 for John Starks.
And I started pressing, thinking that the next shot is going to fall. It's got to fall. It's got to fall.
One of those just sick, sad nights for John Starks.
That type of adversity that you go through is just going to make you stronger. You know, whenever you go through any type of difficult situation and you learn from it.
Last month, New York returned to Houston, and Starks would look for redemption.
Starks popping out of a whole bunch of folks.
Do you think Starks wants to prove something in this building, Bill?
John Starks did plenty of proving, scoring 22 points and leading New York to victory. The Knicks guard will get another shot at the Rockets when Houston visits New York later this week.
When I take the court, I always tap on my heart and let me know that I have to go out there and play with that. You know, no matter what goes on in life, that you can always get through it.
Starks' 1990 Knicks team played in the McDonald's Open in Barcelona. And in this week's News, Notes, and Quotes, we find out that this year's McDonald's Championship will be played in London.
We had hoped in '87 someday to have it, that it would be the champion of each country, and in 1995 that's happening.
Phoenix will have to make their run for a championship without Danny Manning. The Suns forward will miss the rest of the season with a torn ligament in his left knee.
I'm still disappointed. I'm upset about it, but I can't do anything about it. And I just have to make sure that when surgery comes, I come out of surgery, I work as hard as I possibly can to get back.
Cedric Sabala should return to action in about 6 weeks after suffering ligament damage to his right thumb. He made the All-Star team for the first time in his career, but was forced to sit out because of the injury. 3 former Lakers will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was selected in his first year of eligibility.
Well, I was very pleased. It could have been some controversy or a hitch in it, but to make it through on the first ballot, I'm very happy.
Also voted into the Hall of Fame were John Kundla, coach of the Minneapolis Lakers for 3 consecutive championships in the 1950s, and former Laker Vern Mickelson, one of the first great power forwards. And the late Earl Strom will also be inducted.
Watch your hands. Watch your hands.
Strom was an NBA referee for more than 30 years. And finally, Maurice Cheeks was honored by the Philadelphia 76ers as his number was retired and raised to the rafters.
When I first became a Sixer, I never dreamed of having a night like this. This is something special I'm truly going to cherish.
Maurice Cheeks was honored by NBA coaches with an impressive 4 straight selections to the all-defensive first team. But that's not the record for outstanding defensive play in the backcourt. Can you name the guard with the most consecutive selections to the all-defensive first team? The answer when we return here on NBA Action. To NBA Action. Now the answer to this week's trivia question. The record for most consecutive selections to the all-defensive first team is held by Walt Frazier. Following the award's inception in 1969, Frazier held a virtual stranglehold among guards, earning 7 straight selections to the team. Another all-time great guard, John Stockton, leads off this special edition of On Fire. This week, it's the hottest stars at each position. And at point guard, it's the NBA's assist king.
Stockton gets the hand on it. Look at the pass. He just put his signature on this game.
And pinpoint passing recently put this perennial all-star into the record books.
He looks to Karl Malone. He's got him low. The mailman jumps it. Shot up. It's good. He did it. A new NBA assist king, John Stockton.
Mavs shooting guard Jimmy Jackson has established himself as an explosive scorer and one of the league's most exciting young stars.
Kidd, a throw ahead to Jackson. He's got Williams to meet for the dunk.
Consistently ranked atop the NBA scoring list, Jackson, a third-year player, highlighted the first half of the season in dramatic fashion.
Jackson's got 50. What a game for Jackson.
Chicago's Scottie Pippen has once again set the standard at the small forward position, attacking defenses from both in close and out deep.
You gotta hurry. He'll take this. Yes, that's a buzzer. Scottie Pippen.
Check out this scoop to the hoop.
Pippen all the way. And he hits. Just the ball.
Now on the drive, fouled. Count the basket. Wow.
10-year veteran Karl Malone is as good as ever. And this year, the Jazz power forward has led his team to the third-best record in the NBA.
Up top to the mailman, take a three, drive to the alley, hammered up, the mailman delivers. Chambers, down the middle, the mailman, in your face, hammered up.
Not only is the mailman an intimidating force in the paint, but he's also showcased his all-around skills.
Karl Malone in the left corner, he'll power to the hoop, behind the plane of the board, score it, count it, and he's fouled.
And of course, we can't forget super center Shaquille O'Neal, who leads the league in scoring and has been the driving force behind Orlando's magical season.
Look at the big guy run the floor, behind the back. Oh, yes. Here's O'Neal. Oh.
Bounce pass into Shaq. Shaq catches it, powers it up and dunks it.
All right, let's change gears as Encore gets revved up. Shall we check in on the driving school?
Starks with the step to the rim. John Starks with a spectacular move.
And let's do it again, kid.
Starks over Clausen. Hey, don't dump it. Don't dump it.
Ogman working on Morris, and the lead up to 15.
Oh, a scoop to the hoop.
Kidd off the drive. Oh, Jason!
Whew, it can get pretty hairy out there, you know, especially when these guys catch you in the spin cycle.
James into the spin cycle. It's outside the lane to Marshall. The big spin, the drive down the baseline of the jam. Chris Webber can handle the ball. Nice pass for the Howard scoop.
Now here's a scoop for you fans. When he's on his game, Scottie does whatever Scottie wants.
Here's Pippen. Thought about a three and then glides in and slams it on Gogliano.
Yeah, and it seems like Scottie's everywhere.
He got it back. Ball fake. What a pass to Blunt. He's been a real schizophrenic year for the Bulls. Oh, what a move by Scottie Pippen.
Schizophrenic? I don't know, but he sure drives coaches nuts.
Oh, and the scoop shot by Scottie Pippen goes. Timeout, Golden State.
Hold on, we're halfway there. Hold on, we're living on a prayer. Bon Jovi, eat your heart out.
For the Nets to get a shot off. Wait a minute.
Oh, that could go. Oh, you gotta love it. Wow, what a set play. Here's Fleming. Hits everything. Rebound, Byrne, back up, and Byrne got it. Clock starts as soon as it's stolen by Harvey. Gets a shot. Good. Harvey ran on a steal.
I promise no more singing. Look, if you got to take it to an NBA rack near you, well, take it with authority.
Good. Oh, Roy Vaught with a slam. Popeye Jones the intercept. Wrap around to Jimmy Jackson for the right hand. Ewing. Yes, here it comes.
Now it's time for an inside look at one of the hottest attractions at this year's All-Star Game. The NBA Jam Session, sponsored by Fleer, had them fired up in Phoenix.
Yes!
Basketball's ultimate experience was filled with exciting attractions for everyone. Fans flocked in to try their hand at all of the events. Kids and adults played 3-on-3 on the court and at the arcade. There was long-range shooting and a chance to hear from basketball's most inspirational heroes.
You always want to think about positive mental attitude. I can do anything I want to. I'm all excited about being here. I've never seen so many different type of basketball situations. I always thought there was a basket and a ball. Now I'm seeing computers and I'm seeing anything that's imaginable to get somebody involved and to have fun. You know, some people don't have the luxury of being able to run, be it age or illness or whatever. This lends to everybody being involved, and I think that's a wonderful concept.
It's a lot of fun. You see a lot of people come out to enjoy themselves here and have a good time. I think it's a wonderful display of all the things that we have in the NBA, and I think it should be a lot of fun for a lot of people.
Now, not everyone gets a chance to go to the All-Star Game. Jam Session, sponsored by Fleer, gives fans an opportunity to get into the action.
This makes everyone feel like they're part of the All-Star Game.
because tickets are hard to come by, but we got the jam session. Sun's rolling right now. Everything's happening.
Center Court at Jam Session was the place to see continuous basketball action all weekend. The 6,000-seat Phoenix Civic Center was rocking with events like the Schick Rookie Game practices, where fans got a chance to see the NBA's high-flying freshmen. One of the biggest highlights at Center Court was the Baby Ruth shoot-around. The Suns' Wesley Person delighted the hometown crowd when he squared off against his brother Chuck of the Spurs in the finals. Wesley dominated the final round, delighting the crowd and making his older brother proud. The shoot-around was just part of a spectacular weekend.
A lot of basketball happening, a lot of wannabe basketball players, a lot of could-have-been basketball players, a lot of should-have-ever been. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Just basketball fever, in the right time for basketball fever. I'm glad to be here. My temperature's risen. I'm about 104 temperature right now, man.
Some of the most excited people at Jam Session and at All-Star Weekend were international sweepstakes winners from around the world. These NBA fans from countries like Australia, England, France, Germany, and China got a unique chance to be part of the NBA's ultimate basketball party.
One of the main dreams was always to come over here and see a game, the Chicago, Phoenix Suns, New York Knicks, and to actually come to the All-Star Weekend where they're all here, it's a dream come true, yeah.
The NBA's global popularity continues to grow thanks to preseason games all over the world. Plus, Jam Session has become a fun-filled extravaganza for fans internationally.
NBA in Australia is growing immensely, and we're enjoying it, and there's kids all over Australia getting out on the courts and playing.
Basketball started to become very popular in Germany when we won the European Championship. Everyone's crazy about it. The All-Star game is big, so big in Australia, it's getting bigger.
And for a group of fans who have only seen NBA basketball on television, their All-Star Weekend in Phoenix is one that they'll remember forever.
I love this game.
I think you have to play with a lot of emotion, especially in the NBA. You got to run up and down, holler a little bit, smiling. That's what I love about it.
We've saved our best for last as we bring you the top 10 plays from the first half of the season.
5, 4, 3, 2.
In our courtside countdown. It's only his second year, but MASH is already a smash hit in Dallas.
The 360 drop. Oh, baby. What a play by Mashburn.
At number 9, this hoop-seeking bullet is dead on target.
Rex unloads. Holy mackerel.
Now check out Eddie Jones of the Lakers. No wonder he likes the air up there.
Down the middle. Dunk. Eddie Jones. He lifted like a helicopter.
At number 7, he's only a rookie, but Grant's looking like the king of the hill.
Buckle up. Oh, baby, what a play by Grant Hill.
You're right. Now that was sweet, but mercy, can you believe this move by Hersey?
Here comes Hawkins, slices through the lane, goes up, reverse, and got it. What a shot by Hersey Hawkins.
What a shot. Presence of mind, body control, and creativity. He had it all.
At number 5, Eric Murdoch comes up with this long-range miracle for Milwaukee.
And the ball goes in. It counts.
And so does this one. Watch Tony Kukoc come up with a steal, and then the man they call the waiter serves up a tasty treat. Ha ha ha! You won't believe number 3 as we bring you 6 points in less than a second.
Bond throws one and made it. You believe this? Bond, very fun, a throw from out near the hash mark. Pippen trying to answer. Gotti answering Bond.
Amazing! But in Orlando, Penny comes through with this priceless pass.
Hardaway, what a pass! Oh my goodness!
And the number 1 play of the first half of the season, Isaiah Ryder hits on a shot for the ages.
Oh, are you kidding me? Play of the decade! Play of the decade! We gotta see it again right now! Unbelievable!
I'm Jim Fagan for NBA Action. We leave you with a behind-the-scenes look at the All-Star Game, courtesy of Reggie Miller and Gary Payton. See you next week.
Gotta get my radar turned on. Hey, tell him who set you up, baby boy. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.